And now you'll hear from Judge Blow, who is a sitting judge in Virginia Beach Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. And as a part of his docket, he hears the juvenile cases, not just the family chaos, but juveniles who come before him as offenders. He started out with a major in biology and then got insight and realized that where it's really fun is getting a law degree and practicing law. And so he came over to the good side as opposed to the bland side. I won't say evil, but the bland side. I mean, isn't a major in biology about Brussels sprouts and stuff like that? So at any rate, he's had a very extensive career. He's worked for the Virginia Beach office of the city attorney, and he's been the deputy city attorney representing city council and the school board, the development authority, the police department. But he left the city attorney's office and was appointed by the General Assembly to the bench of the Virginia Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. And I will tell you, for someone to go to JDR and remain there, it takes a very special kind of person who has a commitment to juveniles and to the family case. So without more ado, I turn you over to Judge Blow.
I noticed one thing, everybody's got green lights on their microphones. Mine says LED busted. I'm wondering, what did the LED do? Busted, I don't know. Anyway. First of all, I want to explain why I'm here, and there's a reason why I'm explaining this. Judge Tanya Bullock, who actually graduated from Regent and is our chief judge, was originally going to be on the panel, and she realized, I think around Tuesday afternoon, that she was going to have a conflict. So she sent an email out to her 6 colleagues, there's 7 of us in the Virginia Beach Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court, asking if anyone would be willing to sit on the panel in her stead. And unfortunately, I was the only one sitting in my office for her, unfortunately for the office, not for me. I wanted to do it. But because I was sitting in my office when the email popped up, I immediately responded and said, yes, I would be happy to participate if you don't mind running the risk that I might embarrass the office. And I think she was probably would have preferred that one of my other 5 colleagues responded before I did. I have a reputation for saying what's on my mind, for just speaking, I don't have a neutral usually. When a thought comes to my mind, it comes right out. Some people call it politically incorrect. You can call it what you want to when you get through hearing me talk tonight. You might have a different term for it. I haven't gotten any better, I've only gotten worse. The reason being is because I'm now vested. And what vested means is that the worst thing they can do to me is tell me you're out of here and I get to collect my full retirement. So again, it hasn't gotten any better. It's just gotten worse, and it will probably continue to get worse until I retire on my own or I'm asked very nicely to please step down. I hope that doesn't happen. A couple of things that bother me about what's going on in society right now and with juveniles. One of the first things that bothers me is, and this is a biblical verse, although I can't tell you exactly what book and what verse it comes from, but you all heard the saying, spare the rod and spoil the child. And I know it's very difficult. We have this tendency to tell parents in all these, in a lot of cases, custody, visitation, abuse, neglect, foster care, you name it, we tell them there shall be no corporal punishment. But I think we've kind of gone a little too far. And the reason we do that is because there are parents and there are adults who don't know when to stop. They don't know the limitation. And we have to protect the children from those types of parents who don't know, not to react in anger, don't know how to appropriately discipline. And we have a fear that if we don't tell them no corporal punishment, then any corporal punishment is going to be excessive. But we have to reclaim, authority has to reclaim something here. The balance is tilting way in the wrong direction. Our young people feel entitled. They feel like, especially in schools, and I'm going to tell you a couple of horror stories, and one of them is just an anecdote that was told to me by one of my clerks. Her daughter teaches at, I think it's Booker T. Washington in Norfolk, I think is where it is. But anyway, they had a coach who a young man got in the coach's face and was actually chest bumping him and telling him, F you this, F you that, on and on and on, over and over again into coach's face. And finally, the coach just put his hands on him and pushed him back to get him out of his face. The young boy tripped over his own feet, fell, okay? His parents filed a complaint with the administration. The young boy got 1 day of suspension. The coach was administratively suspended for 2 weeks without pay. He couldn't do anything. He's got to sit there and take that abuse. And I think we need to fix that because our young people are just, they feel like they are untouchable. They feel like they have this entitlement that you know, because I'm young, because you're the authority figure, you can't touch me, there's nothing you can do to me. If you so much as lay your hands on me, I know and you know that nothing's gonna happen to me, you're gonna be the one who gets in trouble. I don't know how we get there. I think it's something we need to focus on and try to reverse, because it wasn't that way when I was growing up. Now, I'm going to tell you a story about me personally, and I'm not saying that it should go this far. I'm just going to tell you how it was. I went to a private school. Rules were a little bit different. You all heard about Catholic schools and nuns who hit you on the fingers with, or on the back of the hand with a ruler. That happened a lot. I was in private school at Norfolk Academy, and I was playing in a baseball game, and there was the Latin teacher of all people was basically coaching or refereeing first base, calling outs and safe and things like that. And so I got it was a pretty good hit, and I ran, but I'm not a fast runner. I thought I was safe. He says I was out, and I said, damn it. Damn it, that's all I said. I got slapped in the face for saying damn it. Could you imagine what would happen to a teacher or a coach or any administrator if they slapped a child in the face today? Now, I don't think I deserve to get slapped for that, but I'm telling you right now, if I get up in an administrator's face or a teacher's face or something, and I sit there and I go off and I go postal, those poor postal workers, they get a term named after them, but now it's just kind of stuck, But anyway, that's the term. They go postal, and there's nothing you can do. And it just, we've got to reverse that somehow. Children have got to learn, juveniles have got to learn they can't just walk all over authority, because if they don't learn how to respect authority now, they're not going to know how to respect authority when they get older. And it's not just administrators, but I mean, I had a kid one time tell me, and unfortunately I had done everything to him I could, so I couldn't do anything more to him. And then he was walking out, he told me I wasn't nothing but an effing judge. Is all he told me what I was. And I think I said something to him like, well, yeah, but I'm going to still be here when you're gone, and you'll be locked up, so you can call me what you want to. But anyway, that's one of my biggest problems. We need to get back to having it more balanced, and not think these kids are entitled, with anything they want to. The second problem we have is it's a saying, I don't know if it's a cliche, I'm not sure where it came from, but that is the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And you all have heard that time and time again, and I see it every single day. Some of these young people that come in and they've committed crimes, when the parents come in, or parent in a lot of cases, because it's not a two-parent family, I don't have to wait very long listening to that parent talk before I realize that this kid has got problems. The problems began at home, and if you don't fix it at home, we're not going to be able to fix it in the long run. We need to find more programs for parents. One of the nice things about there's two programs we have. First of all, if you put a child on supervised probation, we can order the parents to cooperate with the services that are being provided, and that parent can be held in contempt of court for failing to comply with that court order. So even though the parent didn't do anything wrong initially, it's their child that did something wrong, we can still order that parent to assist us, the court service unit, therapist, probation officers, anybody who's involved in helping that child turn things around. We can order that parent to participate with those service providers. And again, failure to do so could result in them being found in contempt. That's an important tool for us, because now we are telling the parent, you had something to do with the way this kid turned out. You're going to be held accountable as well. And you're going to be part of the solution, not continue to be part of the problem. So that's another thing we have to do, is find more ways to provide services to parents. The third thing I have a problem with, I have a problem with a lot of things, but I'm only going to name three, because we don't have very much time. But the third thing I have a problem with is any type of program that talks about zero tolerance. Here's why I have a problem with zero tolerance. Zero tolerance is anti-common sense. The two are equal, okay? When you say zero tolerance on anything, you are basically saying, I don't have to think about it, I don't have to exercise discretion. If you do A, then B is gonna happen, and there's nothing I can do about it. And one of the best examples of ridiculous zero tolerance that I've ever heard in my entire life was in Virginia Beach, where a young child was 6 years old. She was, I guess she was in the first grade. She liked peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But what happens if you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at 7 o'clock in the morning and you don't eat it till noon? I mean, somebody answer me. So, it gets soggy. So what did Mom do? Mom gave her a little Tupperware container of jelly, a little Tupperware container of peanut butter, another little container that had 2 slices of bread in it, and God forbid, a butter knife to put it on the bread. They discovered the butter knife in her Scooby-Doo backpack, and she was suspended. Why? Because the principal said, I have no control. The school board has adopted a zero tolerance policy. If you are caught on school grounds with a weapon, I don't know anybody's ever been stabbed to death with a butter knife. Maybe they've been slapped to death with one, I don't know. But that was considered to be a weapon, and the child was suspended. Now, eventually the child was put back in school, but that child should have never been suspended in the first place. What did you do in that case? You took all discretion away from that administrator. You took all ability to exercise common sense away from that administrator. So I'm absolutely opposed to any type of zero tolerance policy, regardless of what it applies to. There are circumstances, and in every case, the circumstances are different, and you have to look at the facts and circumstances of every single case in order to make the right decision. And in juvenile court especially so, a lot of my sentencing is, I call it creative sentencing. It is basically tailor-made to fit that particular situation, that particular juvenile, that juvenile's circumstances overall, not just the offense, but their family and where they go to school. We consider everything. And one of the nice things about juvenile court that I like is that we have the ability to do that. But nobody's going to tell me that this will be the sentence you impose on this particular offense, period. I won't accept that. And I don't think any judge should. I think we always ought to leave open the option to consider everything before we make a final decision as to what the appropriate sentencing would be. Now, I have a lot more I could say, but I'm not. I'm going to stop right here because I think we'll give everybody else time. And if I get a chance to say something politically incorrect later, I will be jumping the chance to do so.